Welcome back to Berlin, Germany, home of the LEC. We just saw a heartbreaking Astralis going 0-9 at the start of their split. Joining me is Dajor. Dajor, first of all, thank you for being here. I know it's a very tough spot you're in right now. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling not too sad. I think overall it was a pretty good game. We had a good gold lead, and I think we stood a good chance against Vitality. So I'm feeling fine.
I mean, you definitely had a good chance. It's just very sad how things played out, to be honest. Looking at the game yesterday versus SK Gaming, it felt quite similar what happened here. How do you think about that?
Yesterday's game. Oof, I'm so nervous right now.
So,
what did we play?
Yesterday, you played against SK Gaming, and you had that. I need to say it was a strong level one. It was a very, very strange game where you got the lead early, but then again, it kind of crumbled.
Oh yeah, I mean yesterday we were too scared somehow. I mean that's the struggle we have been experiencing the whole split, I would say. And today, I think we were not as feared as yesterday. So we just said, yo guys, we have a massive gold lead. Let's just play aggressive and fight them. And hopefully things will turn out good.
So to conclude that, you are actually, yesterday was too much fear. Now there was no fear at all. Now moving forward, we have 4 more weeks coming up. It's not looking good for Astralis into making it into playoffs here.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm not too sad about that because I said in previous interviews already that I'm not looking for the playoffs in the spring split, but in the summer split, because in the spring split right now, I'm just trying to learn as much as I can and come back stronger in the summer split.
Do you feel you learned a lot though, talking about that?
Yeah, for sure. I think playing against the best players in EU and working with the best players in EU is just a huge advantage that I can take. And I have been learning, I think, pretty fast already. And I think summer split will be for sure greater than spring split.
I mean, we can't deny you've been learning very fast, knowing where you come from and where you are right now. Dajor, I'd like to thank you very much for being here at first. Good luck with, turning things around, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We're heading over to the Analyst desk. We're going to head over to Drakos.
That's me. We're heading over to me. Emotional interview, obviously an incredibly difficult game for Astralis, heartbreaking.
Props to Dajor, though.
Props to Dajor. Loser interviews are hard. He kept composed.
And he's a rookie as well. And
he's
like
optimism. I liked it.
Rarely that emotive as well in terms of a game lost like that. I mean, it's not just a loss to add to the loss streak. It's a loss so close. Right on the end of it.
And against a team as good as Vitality, and speaking of Vitality, key player of the game, none other than Perkz. I'm sure everyone on Vitality is looking at the things that they could have done better in that game, but ultimately someone had to show up and be clutch to make that win happen. Perkz, an easy name on that list. But now, shifting our attention forward, Excel is looking to make history today. In a best of one, you might ask how? It's because they've literally never beaten Fnatic. And now they have another chance, their 13th chance, in fact, to beat Fnatic. Currently 0-12. Perhaps today is the day. The question, gentlemen, how do they do it? And will Sona be a part of it?
I would really hope not.
Oh, God.
How they do it, it's largely dependent on Fnatic not playing the way that they have. Because if they do, then they probably outmatch in most roles, if not all of them at this point. And also the connection between all of them, because that connection hasn't been messed with either recently or in the offseason as much.
Let's dive a little more into this Excel thing, because the reality is that, like, yes, there was an idea. There was a construct.
Idea, put as many blue-haired women together on a single composition will be unstoppable.
It's true. And the idea behind that was scaling, right? Now, unfortunately, when you play scaling into a team like Rogue, they'll be like, great, that sounds fantastic. We'll happily take that offer. But then they ended up trying to force fights way before they were actually at a point where they could really look to do so, and they ended up losing control of the game. Against a team like Fnatic, as Alex was just highlighting, it's very much about like having that semblance of control in the mid lane, because this is where they like to attack. And so if you want to have control of the mid lane, you can't have a Sona there, because Humanoid will kill it.
Probably yes. Or out-farm it, as was the case yesterday between Larssen and Nukeduck. But ultimately, when we talk about influencing mid lane, naturally I start to think of supports. And if anyone in Excel is going to step up today, I think I'm going to cast my eyes towards Mikyx. Mikyx versus Hylissang, a matchup with so much history, feels a little bit different today, however.
It certainly does.
It does feel different, but it's also not necessarily peak Mickey, and sadly this is looking like closer to peak Hilly. I mean, some of the stats like we keep referring to back in the first couple of weeks, really outstanding from the Fnatic support in a way that we don't tend to attribute to that player. He does, occasionally hit the death chamber, but on the side of Mickey, he's still warming up to the stage once again, and given how important it's not just jungle is, but jungle support, that all ties together.
It certainly does. But even still, I'm still really excited about this matchup because, you just look at the head-to-head, Mickey does have a slight lead, but that is 60 games that they have played against each other.
Sample size.
Which is, absolutely crazy. There is such a long history between these two players. The sheer number of games that both of them have played, they are just veterans of our league. And for the longest time, whenever you have the conversation of top 3 supports, these two have always been in it in some way. Whether it be 1, 2, or 3, they've held every position at some point in their career. It is crazy how long these two have actually been playing against each other. And even if XL is not looking in the best of forms, even if Mickey is still ramping up, I can't help but feel excited, because when you get these two, this is the type of matchup where you get Pyke versus Leona or something, because they're just so creative and they want to prove a point.
My nightmare is it's going to be like Nami versus Yumi.
Lulu.
Lulu. It's my fear. It's one of the things I hate about this meta is we're not guaranteed.
And they'll still find a way to kill each
well,
other.
and credit to European sports. We mostly know them as these big, huge playmakers when it comes to comparing them internationally. But a lot of EU sports have done super well on the more ranged champions. That said, I don't really want to see it. Focusing in though on where they can have impact, it's not really as much about the bot lane 2v2 right now. We've seen a lot of games where it has been when you get the Thresh, things like that, but much more about roaming. We saw Hilly coming up into mid yesterday for Humanoid, and I think this is just a lot more of a high-pressure matchup for Nukeduck, because against Rogue, Larssen's usually on an island. He's chilling, but against this Fnatic lineup, they put work in the mid lane.
It just comes back to what we've been talking about, and what we were talking about in the draft was very much that this team plays around Humanoid. This team will put resources into Humanoids. And yesterday was a great example where we saw Hylissang come, and then Razork come, and then Hylissang come, and then both of them come together. It is just very typical playing through mid and setting up Humanoid for success. And this is the example that I was just talking about. Level 3, Hylissang is in mid lane. The second that Rika tries to make a play, who's there to support him? The Thresh lands the hook, they end up getting first blood. And it's this type of playstyle where if Nukeduck is going to pick something super passive, if he's going to pick something that can get easily bullied around in lane, then they're going to get punished for it.
So my counterpoint to that is that Humanoid is a stuntman. He does all of his own stunts. He doesn't need a stunt double. He is actually doing really well in isolation. And then that's kind of piled on top of that. But then if you factor in actually Hilly's also had the freedom to go towards stuff like Zilean, which doesn't actually need to run mid as much as well. It gives them that breadth of options. On the other side, actually Markoon tends to favor towards top side, go towards those top early ganks. So the real question is, is it actually going to be a hammer blow in mid, or is actually Hilly still going to have that room for maneuver and say, you know what, you're very telegraphed in your own right, let's go to a different lane?
Adaptation, always a question on the mind. If it's that telegraphed, you could always adapt to it on the fly. But checking in on a tweet you sent us for mid-season MVP discussion, Hylissang, the best support in the West, from Carl on Twitter. Thank you, Mr. Carl Schmidt. Yeah.
It's a fair statement.
Yeah, I mean, it's that or Core Judja, and I feel like it's right now I'm going Hylissang. Maybe you can call that bias if you want. But
Targamas is a pretty good split, low key. On the down low. On the underside of the table.
Can you really say Core JJ when he's not even playing half the games right now?
Look,
and then also
this man single-handedly brought a challenger queue in North America. You know what I mean? He made a server in North America.
I didn't even think about the real-world impact. His influence is growing.
He's a humanitarian. You know what I'm saying? We gotta keep his name in mind. That said, still going Hylissang, and ultimately that's enough from us because the stage is set. Because the question is, can Excel get this long-awaited win, or will Fnatic secure a 2-0 week? Let's throw it over to the casters to find out.
Thank you very much, Drakos. I do have someone in mind for my best player in the West at the moment.
Who?
Been playing a lot of Zilean mid.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, Bjergsen.
Bjergsen,
Yeah, Bjergsen. Yeah, he's
Bjergsen.
pretty good. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
pretty good.
it's really
I
good
love
fun.
how they're like CoreJJ is a humanitarian. He's changed the landscape of the entire region
they
as well
now
as
have
BOS.
a 400k solo
it's nuts.
queue challenge. You know, it's going well for CoreJJ over there in NA, but we're still here in EU for our 4th game of the day. Let's get ready to play some League of Legends.
Indeed. The desk talked about the support matchup, and I'm kind of thinking, is Hylissang worth a player at this point? Just ban him out. Thresh, Rakan, Thresh already taken off. You have to pay so much respect to him, not only in-game, but in draft. If you ban Thresh and you give him Rakan on 1-2, he's still going to do so much damage to your team. And I feel like he's a player who kind of draws these bans like Thresh, Rakan from the get-go.
Yep, already, as you say, the Thresh taken away. Twisted Fate removed by Fnatic. Now, yesterday they left Zeri open, and they absolutely scored Unforgiven on it. He was more of a pea shooter than a gasoline gun on that pick. And here with the Jace ban, we're going to see either the Corki or the Zeri get through once again.
We are indeed. Caitlyn banned away, and Corki, Zeri, Renekton, Diana is up. That could be slammed on 1-2. Zeri is going to be banned this time from Fnatic, so they're going to take that away from Excel. So now Excel have a lot of options, a lot of trade-offs that you have to think about, because if you pick Corki here, maybe Fnatic want to fancy themselves a Renekton Diana, but they're going to pick Sin Zhao for now. A lot of champions are open.
I mean, Corki for Humanoid would make sense. He hasn't played it yet this season, but just such a strong mid laner right now, having a very good spring that picking that power pick for the mid lane makes a huge amount of sense. However, Gwen Flex is the option alongside that. Fnatic are going to look towards, well, another pick. They hovered Zed and Zyra. I doubt it's going to be either of those, but we'll see where they decide to go.
Yeah, LeBlanc is open as well. Quite a common ban on blue side, especially. Humanoid has got 1 game with LeBlanc under his belt. And with this many OPs on the top side, we haven't even spoken about bot with Caitlyn Thresh down. Aphelios, Jinx are still open. As we see, Fnatic might want to pick themselves up that Jinx with the Gwen Flex already. And they're going to pivot towards the Jhin. So now Excel again, options, options, options. You could pick up Renekton here, you could pick up Corki, you could even go towards LeBlanc, you could match bot lane here with Aphelios, with Jinx, leave support till 4-5. I feel like blue side 2-3 tells a lot about how the draft will play out, and of course Fnatic can match on red side, expecting that Gwen Flex to last, maybe a Rakan for Hilly on 3 and then ban out 2 supports could be one angle that they look towards. But Fnatic, when I look at their team compositions, do tend towards team fights and some kind of safe / winning bot 2v2.
There is Aphelios for Patrik, so bot laner pick for Excel. Alongside that, you usually want to give an enchanter over towards your support, something like the Lulu. We've already seen Mikyx bring out once. Even Yumi's still a possibility, but picking Yumi here really invites Hylissang to play something aggressive in that bottom lane and try and shut you down in the laning phase.
Definitely does, but they're going to take the Corki instead. So really powerful 2 carries here for Excel. Fnatic engage would be good. Mid lane match also good. Gwen Flex is still alive, and that's going to be the Orianna. So I feel like, again, Fnatic are going to lean towards team fighting as expected. And now it's just a case of Excel, what do you ban away? I guess the safest option is always going to be supports.
Yep.
Because of the Gwen Flex. And for Fnatic, maybe targeting supports as well, / kind of like blind pick top laners. We've seen Finn's blind picks tend towards Jace, but we have seen him on things like Ornn and Graves as well. So he shouldn't struggle to find a champion. I think the only worry Excel might have is if they're against this kind of zone control teamfight comp. If you're picking Corki, Aphelios, Graves, Xin Zhao, really doesn't feel like you have enough setup or CC or anything to kind of threaten the Orianna.
Definitely agree with you there, Caedrel. I think Excel, though, will look towards perhaps Rakan, Nautilus, those support bans we were talking about. Just neuters Hylissang a little bit down towards that bottom lane. Of course, Hilly can still pick something like the Zillion and just play a revive, speed up bot distraction that we've seen him do already this split. There's the Rakan taken away. Fnatic continuing to target the top lane by taking GP away from Finn. As you say, though, Ornn definitely a possibility for both of these teams. If Fnatic want to continue on their sort of front-to-back team fighting style we saw yesterday, then Ornn works. Gragas would do a similar job for Wunder.
I think that Akali ban spells Gwen top to me, Medic. I think the Akali pick is what we tend to see, especially in the eastern regions. Ignite Akali top, of course, struggles 1 to 6, but at level 6 takes over that matchup in the 1v1 especially. So I think Excel after that ban should kind of know that's a Gwen top. Maybe they want to ban themselves a jungler now. With Rakan down, they could ban away Nautilus like you said, but you could also ban something like the Lee Sin or the Viego to make jungle's life a little bit easier and make it so Lee Sin actually ban away, so Viego.
Yeah, I thought you were cosplaying him there for a second because you were as blind as he is.
Blind as there's the Jarvan though, so I was on the kind of right trajectory where the Akali ban spells Gwen top and then we can take away a jungler. But yes, I am
a little bit blinded by the Lee Sin ban there, and looks like Viego will just get picked up. I mean, you don't have to kind of shy away from the fact that this Gwen is going towards top, and we know Fnatic well. They want to counter pick support.
Yeah, it definitely means that Fnatic will want some sort of engage, or at least some follow-up from Hylissang down towards the bottom side. You could just go Enchanter and play this sort of kite-back composition, but you don't have a huge amount of disengage either on this Fnatic lineup as of yet. So give Hylissang something like perhaps the Leona, the Nautilus, can do that work. However, Excel don't want to let that Nautilus through. They're going to pick it for themselves, it seems. And alongside that, they'll be looking up towards the top lane. Now, what do you play into the Gwen? Well, Ornn isn't the best matchup, but does scale relatively well. Graves
Thank God.
will not be picked, and instead Leona locked in for
I
Excel.
think in the straight 1v1, Graves would make sense, but I think something like Gragas just makes more sense because you have such good carries already, and Xin Zhao peels so much already for your team. I think front to back is your aim of the game. CC is always good, and Graves just doesn't provide that kind of CC. It's going to get locked in anyway, so as we thought it might happen, the Graves, Corki, Aphelios, Xin Zhao comes out, so I think Fnatic's going to round out with some kind of team fighter here. Braum would be good into Leona and Graves and Corki, but the problem is Jhin Braum, not the strongest bot 2v2, doesn't pair so well with stacking up the passive. Maybe Zilean is just going to be his go-to, as we always see from Hylissang, unless he wants to pivot into an engager like Rell.
Yeah, the options for those engaged champions, Nautilus, Rell, really the only two, and it will be Rell locked in the bottom lane for Hylissang, a champion we have not seen really at all here in the LEC, something Hylissang definitely hasn't brought out this year, but a champion that has a lot of power in teamfights, however, can struggle if you miss your engage.
Yeah, but it's all about engage, and Hilly can always dig deep into his pockets to find something. I think leaving him till 4-5 is always a fine thing. He'll find something to pick into any support. He is the mad scientist after all, but both compositions very straightforward. Fnatic, really good team fight. Yes, your Gwen can go on a side lane, but it's all about team fight. Rell engage, Orianna, Jhin ultimate, Viego gets resets, Gwen does Gwen things. Excel have a little bit more side lane pressure if the Graves is ahead, but still, I feel like they're playing a lot of kind of AD carry-esque on auto-attack champions with two kind of AD carries in mid and bot with Graves top and Xin Zhao. So their front to back is fantastic, and the Leona is their main source of engage. A little bit of poke from the Corki as well, of course. Across the lanes, expecting some kind of push in top for Excel. Nukeduck getting pushed in on the Corki, and bot lane is a little bit Armageddon with those two engaged supports.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to predict exactly what's going to happen if Patrik and Mikyx can stay away from Hylissang, which is a very difficult thing to do.
You can't.
Yeah, it's so hard to do it. It's always in such a good position to fight you. Excel looking to pick up their first win in 13 versus Fnatic. On to Summoner Switch we go, Excel and Fnatic all barreling down to the bottom lane.
Uh-oh, this is gonna spell a level 1 fight. I can feel it, Medic. They're gonna walk in. Do they have a sweeper to check if the bush is watered? No. Yes, they do. So now they think, maybe we can get an invade. They didn't check this bush. And Excel are hiding. No, I've hyped up nothing.
I mean, it was hype for a second. And also the sweeper initiation from Hylissang. Just like, yep, I'm crash downing straight into this bush. If anyone's there, you can catch them, yeah.
Imagine there's 5 people there. I got a 5-man knockup!
That's the power of Rell at level 1, right? You can get these AoE knockups, do so much work, you get a shield as well.
And that's how Hilly would think about it, wouldn't he? He'd be like, I've got a 5-man knockup, not, oh no, I'm jumping into 5 people. He would always see the other side of it. I remember there was a meme when I used to be a pro in 2019, 2020, playing against Hylissang in scrims. The meme among pro players was, you can't base against Hylissang, you have to call an Uber, because he's going to chase you all the way to your Nexus. This was the good old meme of the back in the days. I think he still does it.
Car, as we, you know, you just buy your Kia.
True.
Yeah.
Ooh, face check.
Hylissang has the shield. There's the stun with Glacial Augment. Mickey's going to be okay for the moment. Of course, Glacial Augment doesn't reduce damage on yourself. Only reduces damage those champions would do to your allies. Mikyx chunked out a little bit. Patrik trying to answer back. Severin will heal up that little bit of health that he's lost. But Hylissang will have a crash down once again.
Yeah, whichever support can get the push in this kind of melee matchup gets control of the second brush in the lane. You can see Hylissang and Mikyx trying to like move towards this bush because control of this bush is so important. It guarantees the push. And then the second Mikyx gets control, Patrik can step up. And Upset feels threatened. But a lot of sustain in this Jhin lane with 4 potions. 1 already used. And both junglers starting topside, pathing down.
Summoner spells pretty similar across the board. Ghost and Flash in the top lane. Wunder taking the Ghost on the Gwen. Something we have seen a little bit in the
Level up
bottom
coming
lane.
in from Excel.
As you say, Mickey's going to get the level up here. Hylissang, the target, gets in onto Mikyx. Attract repel, but he's locked up with the Zenith Blade. And it's already Armageddon, perhaps a catastrophe for the Fnatic bottom lane. Upset steps forward, but just can't find the damage. And Patrik will answer with the Calibrum.
Fnatic, on paper, the best bot lane we have in the LEC. XL gets a 2v2 kill level 2 there. I think Hylissang, Mickey, playing with fire. He's eating it. Wait, if that hit, I think he would just die. Mickey, you crazy, crazy man. They get the 2v2 kill. I think Fnatic tried to push to get the level up, but XL got it first. Oh,
No
wow, he got it. What?
He's in his head!
How did he know he was there? So they did get a 2v2 kill, but they responded now. Razork Smith.
Razork hits the stun through the Valkyrie. Nukeduck does have flash, will use it to escape under his tower.
Upset.
Upset was like, hey, you didn't call an Uber, let me deliver you one. Just like, there you go.
Straight back to base. In her body bag, gets taken out there, Mikyx, and here comes the level 2. I think Hylissang's walking forward for that melee creep to get the stack, but he gets stunned up, so he can't do it. The 2v2 kicks off. Hylissang has to jump away instantly. Mickey gets out because Upset doesn't have a ward for the bush. He realizes he can't chase him into the second one because he'll lose vision again. And then how does he know where he is? I'd love to see Upset's vision because the Q bounces onto Mickey.
He doesn't.
And I guess he just kind of guesses roughly where Mickey's basing. Patrik doesn't block it. And then we get the T-Taurus. Look at that beautiful shot. Takes down Mickey.
Oh, man. That's just justice for Upset in that bottom lane. Was able to pick up a kill now. Both AD carries at one apiece.
You know,
Swifty's already complete on Upset.
Calculated.
Yeah.
Hylissang knew.
Oh, yeah. Hylissang was
We
like,
always praise Hylissang
I
for
played
his
this guy
smart plays.
61 times. He is backing here.
This is the heat map. He's going to back right next to the tower, a couple inches from the left. And then Upset's like, what's the wind right now? He's got his finger in the air, licks his finger. Hilly tells him the measurements of everything. And then boom.
It's the sniper and his spotter here for Upset and Hylissang in the bottom lane, as you say, widely regarded as the best bot lane in the LEC. Perhaps in the West, of course, we haven't seen the full LCS bot lanes as of yet, with their locking tournament completing and their regular season, I think, starting today after the LEC is finished. Across the board, though, even for these two teams early on, junglers, we saw that little gank from Razork in the mid lane, did burn Nukeduck's splash, but Nukeduck with the Valkyrie can be pretty safe, gets his way pushed in, has the tier already stacking up as well.
Yeah, a little bit of scaling, of course, for the Corki with the tier going towards that poke build. Dragon spawning in 10 seconds. Both junglers cycling through their second clears, and of course, Fnatic moving towards mid. Hylissang wants to make sure Humanoid has as much vision as possible. And we saw what he did yesterday on Thresh, the amount of vision control he had. When he has bot push, he controls both mid and bot to make sure both are safe, or he has kill setup or potential on either of those lanes. But they're going to have to back away now. XL probably going to retake control soon. And the game has slowed down after that bot lane absolute octagon fight we saw earlier on.
Nukeduck forced into farming with a phosphorus bomb here as well. Mickey, after catching some experience underneath the tower, will work his way up towards the top side. Hylissang about to back. And with Markoon, Mickey can team up and clear, as you say, this bot side river.
Yeah, important to team up here and retake control, because you don't know if Upset and Hylissang are still in that bush. Of course, we can see that they've base and they're running out, but Mickey has to be careful that they're just trapping, sitting in the bush and looking for a pick, and they are going to take that pink ward. Mid vision so important in the early stages of the game. Jungle, mid support kind of dictate the middle of the map, which dictates which side they're moving towards and who has the pressure. And Fnatic, again, going to respond straight away.
Especially for Nukeduck as well, having burnt his flash. He doesn't have 6 yet, can't just farm with the missiles, so he needs to have this protection, but now it's gone once again. No vision for him around that mid lane.
Yeah, it's funny what's going to happen here, because I think XL have a stacking bot wave, because Patrik's been here for so long, so eventually they're just going to crash this wave, move back up and clear the pink ward again, so it's kind of like a game of seesaw here for this vision around mid. Markoon can start up the Drake as well because of how big this bot wave is. I don't think Fnatic's bot lane is going to be able to match or move. Nukeduck is sitting pretty happy in mid. Humanoid is base, so this will be a first objective straight for XL. Retake control of the river, and the game works in turns. Of course, Fnatic will try to retake control of that again when they push bot back out again.
I wonder if Mickey on his next recall will switch across to the sweeper. It does really help you when you're trying to deny vision like this. Means that you're not always investing the control wards. Of course, does lose you that warding totem in the lane, so it can be a little bit trickier for you to keep yourself safe, but helps the team as a whole generally getting that sweeper early on.
Definitely does, and Razork's just going to respond with the first crab of the game. Well, I call it first because the first crabs don't really count as crabs because of how little XP they give. Finn's going to try to start it up. Razork sees it. He has the option of just smiting it away here and running away, which I think that's exactly what he's going to do because no one's around to collapse.
And smite from Razork gets him level 6,
up, though.
actually jumping in with Heartbreaker, but immediately knocked away.
Maybe he fancied himself a kill there. He's going to start up a blue buff. They have information where he is. Razork doesn't actually know where Markoon is. I guess he can pretty much assume he's on Krugs, and if they take away this blue buff and give it to Humanoid, that's going to hurt Nukeduck when it comes to mid push. You can see on the left-hand side there, Nukeduck's mana, it's around 10% right now. Blue buff's so important for Corki because it's very difficult for him to trade against Orianna. What he wants to do is farm with his rockets, farm with Qs as we saw earlier on, because the ball just outranges him naturally. But of course, less mana means less rockets and less phosphorus bombs, and it just gives Humanoid a little bit more mid-push. Vision already established towards the top side of the map for Fnatic. Base is coming through from supports. Herald spawning in 15 seconds.
Humanoid also going the Sorcerer's Shoes, just trying to give himself a little bit more mobility in the lane to dodge away from the missiles. Even with a tier, getting that bit of extra mana, having a blue buff this early on can really help you out.
Yeah, helps him out in the lane, but of course, it's 8 minutes on the clock, and you know what that means, Medic? It's Corki package time. Nukeduck's gone to base, and he's going to pick that up. Herald is going to be the point of contention. As I say that, Nukeduck cancelled it for one more wave.
Shockwave.
Trying to chunk Mikyx.
I mean, what this does do is mean that Mikyx's half HP for the Rift Herald fight. Exactly as you were saying, that yes, the Shockwave is down, but if Fnatic do want to fight around this, and knowing Fnatic and knowing Hylissang, he probably does want to, Mikyx now has to get that Honeyfoot to get himself a little bit of extra HP. Yeah,
it's all about helping your team move to the objectives you want to play for. And again, you can see Excel probably want to pick up package TP
on
or
a ward.
run towards this and fight this.
Markoon's walked over this ward like 3 or 4 times.
They will see it, and they will not... Huh? Why didn't they clear the pink ward there? I think maybe Nukeduck will clear it? Surely, right?
Well, it's a decision that's been made.
It gives so much information, I feel like. Maybe they're scared that they're on Herald already and they're going to take it later on. Now they're moving back towards it, but it's not actually getting a very good vision pocket there because it's too far against the wall. But anyway, they have started up the Herald. Excel going to engage.
Razork takes the Herald already. Hylissang has flash. Mikyx not yet level 6. Hylissang can just flash away. And Razork flashes at the wall. Heartbreaker was still just coming off cooldown, wasn't quite there yet.
A very confusing play from Excel. They had all the tools they needed to fight this. The only problem was Upset was moving towards mid, so maybe they thought it was a 5v4, but they had package. They could walk in. Markoon has flash to face check. Patrik
dodges one, gets hit by the second, dodges the third, and the fourth, even if it hit, I don't think it kills him from that HP.
So the confusing thing to me about this whole series of events is if I bring up the minimap, there's still 2 deep pink wards in their jungle. So it's either clear out the vision and retake topside control, give Herald and get tempo topside.
And they know one of them is here. We don't know if they know the top one, but they know the bottom one's there.
Or contest Herald and get the vision later on because we're on a timer. Guys, Snappy, we've got to start fighting this because it's going down. But neither of the things happened, and they still don't have control of bot side river. So as much as the gold is only a 100 difference and Fnatic have the objective, look what they can do.
Hylissang jumps in, Markoon able to get the smite, but he's stunned up, locked up. Crescent Guard trying to get him out, has the flash across the wall. Gets it just in time. Patrik, though, now locked up. There's the heal. Root coming out. Upset's going to join this fight. Patrik knocked back. Able to flash for the moment. Here comes Nukeduck, and this might be a great fight for Excel. TP coming in as well as Finn wants to join the party. Wants to join the Barney. He's not quite close enough. Could have TP'd to the mid lane. Instead, TP'd to the bot. Zenith Blade with a chase from Mikyx. Upset and Humanoid forced away. Humanoid, you got no mana, but the level up might be enough to get him a little bit more. He's backing in the bush. Fnatic trying to collapse. Markoon coming in, Upset flashes to the blast cone. Markoon locked up, they dive in. Markoon will fall to the needle work. Finn takes one, Wunder gets another. And Upset and Wunder are able to escort each other out of the red side jungle.
So I believe it's 3 kills for Excel, 2 for Fnatic. Nukeduck.
Their root's gonna connect. Nuke doesn't have flash. There's no CC left on Fnatic. As you say, the red buff will do a little bit of work here. Wunder diving in, and you're correct, Caedrel. He is dead.
It's a 3 for 3 overall. I mean, the fact that Excel had no control over any side of the river means Fnatic can invade them. All the lanes collapse. Both top laners TP to bot tier 1. It's an absolute fiesta in the bot side of the map. This all comes off the back of the Herald play because Fnatic still have control on both sides. They go for the aggressive play, and they know where Excel is on the map, so they think they have the time to commit. But Nukeduck comes in. Clutch moment. W's over the wall. Gets 2 of them straight away. And then the carries of Fnatic have to scatter. Hang on a second. Humanoid has flash.
He's got flash, and he will use it, but the Zenith Blade will follow him home. However, Patrik now needs to be careful. So does Mikyx. No level 6 yet on the Leona. Humanoid shields himself up. Is able to survive. Mikyx's going to get chased out. Hylissang does have the Magnet Storm. Oh, Zenith Blade just short the route. Stopped Mikyx from predicting where Hylissang was. And because of that, he pays for it with his life. Another kill to Fnatic, and it's this roaming gank squad of Hylissang and Razork. This Rell paying dividends for Fnatic.
Yeah, definitely is. Dragons up as well. Excel have 1, but back to their jungler's topside. It's kind of a good thing for Markoon because he can take all of Razork's topside jungle, get a little bit more experience. Of course, the bad side is their bot lane can't play aggressive and they can't go for this pick onto Humanoid. They end up dying and they're going to lose Dragon as well. Maybe Excel fancy themselves a top dive. I think it's going to be incredibly hard to dive that Gwen. Play to steel caps, double AD top jungle. But still, camps in Markoon's back pocket. Razork still has Herald. He might want to use that bot soon. 3 platings left.
Could go down for it now. Hylissang, X-Flash.
Might dive as well. Patrik, no summoners. Mikyx's not level 6 yet. They're going to force him off the tower. Herald's going to be
comes
popped.
down. Rift Herald goes down, as you say. Half health on this tower means it would survive the charge. But there's a wave pushing in as well. Mikyx looking for the eye here. We'll get a hit on it. Stunned up. Mikyx still not level 6. Still doesn't have that solar flare. Now hits it. And Excel are able to abate Fnatic's push for the moment. So we look across the gold, you can see relatively even between all these guys. I will point out though, can we just click on Mikyx for a second? Actually, as Razork looks for another dive, let's wait on that. Yeah, Mikyx's still yet to upgrade his warding item. No vision for Excel. Mikyx has been so denied off waves.
They're just so favored in the 3v3. Markoon, yes, he's not here, but not only that, the gold might be even somewhat, but look at the amount of gold spent, right? Hylissang going in.
Hylissang, there's the Magnet Storm, the Attract Repel stun coming out as well, and Patrik and Mikyx are just locked up. However, Patrik's already taken one, and the Chakrams will start to do a bit of work here. Razork forced away. Nukeduck was coming down, but they didn't want to take the fight anymore.
Yeah, the point I was just going to mention for this fight is Patrik doesn't have his Gale Force or Mythic or anything at all. Upset does have a full completed Gale Force, so the gold is semi-even, but the gold spent is so much more in Fnatic's favor. That's why they fancy themselves this 3v3.
Yeah,
Razork, they're going to fly all the way to the base.
Come on, observers, you could have done that.
And they're going to, where are they? Zip, 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 zip. Okay, that was cool. So yeah,
Beyblades.
It is Beyblades. Flying shurikens across the entire map. Not only the shurikens, but Akali can fly across the entire map.
It's true. Follows a TP.
And yeah, Patrik's just going to push out on base. I mean, they got themselves a kill back. If Patrik had his Mythic there, this fight would have looked so much different. But Hylissang clutch engage. The fact that Patrik has no flash and he finds this Hex Flash to the side of the wall and then jump engage, gets the stun as well. Upset just a little bit too far to follow up, and of course the guns for Aphelios means it'll end up in a 1-for-1 trade.
Still, Fnatic continuing to target the bottom lane of Excel, continuing to put them behind. Mikyx yet still to upgrade his support item. 14 minutes in the game. Doesn't have the extra vision that you get from it. Doesn't have those wards. We see it littered across the map, and you can see it's mostly control wards for Excel right now. As Excel look towards the top side here, Caedrel.
Yeah, a bit of an odd map state because Fnatic sent their bot lane back towards bot to catch the wave, to push all the way to tier 2 to move towards mid, and Nukeduck can clear the wave pretty happily with his package. He's not under any threat, so Excel send numbers top and they push for this top tower. Now Fnatic move their bot lane towards mid. Can they pressure this? Patrik has a really good gun to clear the wave, but Hylissang might just dive him. No flash yet on Patrik.
Does have the heal, and with Markoon and Mikyx on their way, Excel will be able to force Fnatic back. Humanoid jumped on, there's the solar flare, good shockwave, but Humanoid, too little, too late. The shockwave finds nothing, Razork dives in, but decides against going any further.
Always catches people off guard, the Xin Zhao Q1, Q2 on the minions, and then flash knock up straight away from the Xin Zhao. Humanoid gets caught sleeping a bit there, ends up falling, and that's just a free Herald over to Excel. Nukeduck's pushed bot all the way in, so that means Upset has to run bot, and now Finn can maybe look for this top tower for free, so Excel, this early game, it looked pretty poor in the early stages because of the vision control and the amount of control Fnatic had over the river, but now they have themselves the second Herald of the game for mid tower. They have themselves the top tower to match the bot tower that fell earlier on, so the game is in a stabilized point now.
With this top tower falling, Patrik will be given some of the local gold from it by being near it as it goes down. Excel can continue to push it if they want, but with Wunder there, they're going to back away. Upset, though, does have a bit of free time with this tower. However, Jhin, not the best at taking turrets. Fourth shot can do a bit of work, but as you see, Nukeduck and Mikyx in the vicinity to stop any further advances. He does have his upgrade.
Finally has his upgrade.
Got it a little bit earlier. But the big thing about that is, and like I did harp on about it a little bit, but it just stops you from getting any vision, and especially when the enemy is pushing so far into your red side jungle, you really want to have a couple of wards to spot them out as they push towards you. Otherwise, you're investing a lot of gold into control wards early on, and those things are pricey, you know. 75 gold for a support is a lot of money to have to invest.
Yeah, Boris is scamming us already.
Yeah, exactly.
You need vision, I need money. Prices go up. Sorry, mate.
Supply and demand. Imagine if that happened. The more wards board in the game, the more expensive they became.
Oh, Boris absolute stonks. Can you imagine? Anyway, XL have this Herald. They could pop it for this top tier 2, but they need to be careful as to where Fnatic are on the map. They don't have enough deep vision right now to full commit to that play. And it's all about mid-wave contest now. Patrik has flash, so he's a lot safer. 30 seconds on the Dragon, though. So, XL have an option here to just play for this top tower while Fnatic go for Drake, or push out towards this top tower and then move towards Dragon. You can see they have push on bot as well, so Fnatic just going to go through mid, it seems.
And once again, it's Hylissang, Razork teaming up. Mikyx and Hylissang being at each other's throats a lot of this game, and Hylissang so far coming out on top of that matchup. Looks like Nukeduck will be left alone in the top lane, does have the TP. Dragon spawning in 5 seconds time, would only be the second of the game for either of these teams. Hylissang and Razork.
I think they're just going to beeline for this top tower. They don't even going to try to contest this Drake. Finn has bot pushed out all the way. Herald for this top tower, 600 gold. Trade gold for the objective early. Second Drake, not so important, but hang on a second. TP coming in, they want to defend it, and I think they're going to be able to do so.
Rift Tower will get a charge in. Mikyx did have the solar flare, but Fnatic decided against going for it, and that's a good defense there by Fnatic.
Yeah, win-win for Fnatic. Orianna TP not going to be that important on the side lane when Baron spawns. She'll just be catching top waves, matching Corki, moving towards mid. So yeah, win for Fnatic. Excel will time the TP. That top tier 2 will fall if they drop one wave top later on Fnatic. Very vulnerable, that tower. But for now, stabilized, and it's going to be about mid push. The Dragon's not going to spawn, of course, for another 5 minutes. And I think both teams want to play towards the top side.
See how they decide to do it. For the moment, pretty even between these two. Fnatic getting the advantage in some of the early trades. Excel able to fight back with a few wins of their own. And you do have 3 kills on Patrik on this Aphelios with a Gale Force complete already. However, Finn, well, there's a Razork and a Hylissang chasing him down. He can just quick draw across the wall and will escape, but loses the Krugs for his troubles.
Yeah, look at the minimap. You can see the pings from Excel on that top tower again. This is the 3rd attempt they're going to go for it. Patrik's gonna push this mid wave. Their jungle support showed bot. So now Hylissang and Razork realize, well, we've shown ourselves and we can't make a play here. Let's base and go top and stop Excel's play. Retake some kind of vision is probably what they want to do, and Patrik can team up with his team. And Excel, as much as they want to go for this play, quickly realize, yeah, we're gonna face 3 or 4 Fnatic members if we try to commit to this. Better to just scale. Let the Corki get a couple more items.
And they do scale well. Like, you've got an Aphelios to Corki, that's a very strong composition, and with the Leona as your front line and as your engage, you can do a lot of work, but Fnatic also scale pretty well on their side. You know, Gwen and Orianna in late games, we've seen just what Orianna can do only a few minutes ago. Mikyx.
Fake pressure.
Yeah, that's one of those Thresh Lantern behind you, pretending that your jungler's nearby.
Yeah, exactly. That's the easiest way to explain fake pressure, when you run up to them with a Thresh Lantern behind you, but in fact, there's no one behind you. Mikyx doing the similar kind of thing there. Maybe if he hit Upset and Upset panicked and used Cleanse, all of a sudden, Mikyx pops in a moat, runs away and says, joke's on you, no one was there in the first place. XL want to focus his bot tower, it looks like, retaking some kind of bot side vision, while Wunder is up top lane against Nukeduck. Again, all about mid push in this mid game.
And you can see Finn down there towards the bottom side will catch this wave, but there's a couple of wards placed behind him to give anyone that goes down there a little bit of extra safety. Hylissang jumped on here by Markoon. There's the stun coming out. Razzle going forward. Moonlight Vigil hits 2. The roots coming out as well. They look for Upset. Q3 knock-up shut down. Hylissang, Razork, and Upset caught unawares by the XL gang squad.
Yeah, XL absolutely no fear, and once again, Mikyx going in.
You gotta stun Hylissang before you can get the Magnet Storm out, and Mikyx eats it for breakfast. Shockwave only hits 1. The Magnet Storm did exactly the same. Finn's TPing in, and now with a 2-man advantage, I wonder if XL will make the call for the Baron instead. No, top lane tower their target.
Yeah, I think they're going to play for waves here. Pushing all the waves, get that top tower. Finally, Finn TP's in. It's a good TP because the bot tower has died. Look at the minimap. All this wave will go into this bot tier 2, and Fnatic might lose it, and they might lose this top tower as well. Nukeduck's going to try to hit it, but I think they're scared, and they want to back away. No, they're going to stay. A little bit of indecisiveness here from XL, but I think they're just going to commit to the objective in the end. Razork is around, and Upset and Hylissang are sprinting out of base.
Razork?
Are they going to get out? Razork can chase them here. Just break their tempo. Just chase them down and make sure they can't base, just to give you more and more control of the map. We'll see if he goes for the engage.
Gets the stun with the Valkyrie out. As you say, this is all about making them take as long as possible to get that Uber back to the fountain. XL will be able to get under their tower. However, there's always a call here for Fnatic if they want it, just to get in here and get some topside vision.
Yeah, maybe if you had different champions here, a Baron start could be great, but Jhin is just so weak when it comes to these Baron rushes. But Markoon has no flash.
Mikyx's on his way. Curtain call coming out. There's the TP in, and Markoon, no crescent guard for him. He's dead. Finn, he blast coned his jungler into the arms of death. And Fnatic now, total control over the top side and of the mid, taking that tower down.
Yeah, the game just kind of flipped on his head. You know, XL got 2 kills, they got a tower, it looked great for them. They got a bot tower too, but now a kill over to Fnatic, and now they get the mid tower. So a lot of back and forth going on here. But in the end, Fnatic gonna base 1 minute on that dragon. It's their 3rd dragon of the game. I wonder if they're gonna try to fight it. Base is coming through from AD carry, jungle, and support. Humanoid's gonna push out bot. Is Nukeduck gonna collapse onto Humanoid here? Finn can do so as well. He has flash, he has package too. If he gets information and vision on him, yeah, Humanoid quickly realizes he's in a little bit of a dangerous spot in that recall.
Wise to back away there from Humanoid. Nukeduck is at that Mura mana, and the Ravenous Hydra already complete.
And important to note, once again, the desk said it, but Fnatic have a 13-0 win rate.
12-0.
This is the
win
13th
rate game, yep.
Against XL in the regular season. They've never ever lost to XL ever since they joined the LEC.
How many of those games were you playing?
Let's not talk about that. Anyway,
we did just see
Dragon setup.
package was just used by Nukeduck. Hylissang now is going to have to try and step forward, but with no flash on him, it becomes a little bit more tricky. The thing with Rell is, in team fights, you want to get on the back line. Your ultimate is an AoE, grab everyone together, set them up for the shockwave. What Mikyx has done really well is stun Hylissang before he can get on the back line. Keep an eye on Hylissang, because he's looking for the flank right now, and if he can get behind Excel, he can shred them. Mikyx and Wunder, no vision on them, but they're going to engage. Mikyx going in. Look at the damage. Already one down. Humanoid shut down. Here comes Hylissang, and the Magna Storm only finds the enemy support. Patrik, the hula hoop of death, surrounds him, and he will shred through Fnatic. Hylissang and Wunder were too late to the party, and Excel gobbled up their teammates.
It's a battle of the two greatest supports Europe's ever had, but Mikyx comes out on top on this Dragon fight, finds such a clutch engage onto Humanoid. Upset's gonna snipe off Mikyx, but I think Excel, they're gonna get the Dragon. I think they're gonna move towards Baron here. 20 seconds on Razork, no TPs for Fnatic. Fantastic engage from Mikyx. Humanoid just slightly late on the flash, gets followed through. Yes, Mikyx dies, but so does Humanoid, and from there, yeah, you saw Patrik with the red and the white gun just mowing down Fnatic.
And the thing is, half a second later, Hylissang is in the midst of Excel, grouping them up for the shockwave, but Mikyx so ready to pull the trigger, so ready to go in. Finds the team fight win for Excel. Baron now in their pockets, a 4,000 gold lead, and they've got so much standing gold on the map, mid tier 1, tier 2, top, bot tier 2 as well.
Yep.
A lot of options here for Excel.
Let's look at this again, because both supports did the same thing. They both wrapped around to the other side of the enemy team, but Mikyx pulls the trigger first. Humanoid tries to get his ball in a position to look for a team fight shockwave, but Mikyx Hex Slash over the wall, E hits, ult follows up, the Aphelios ult, everything layered on top of him, and from there, take your eyes off Mikyx and put your eyes on Patrik. The red and the white gun, Wunder, Hylissang, and Razork in the meat grinder of Patrik. Nukeduck zoning away, Wunder an upset, the only two remaining carries off Fnatic. From there, the fight's won, Dragon falls. Mikyx gets sniped off at the back end of it, but never mind that, Excel are sieging onto this tower.
Now look at the Humanoid once again, they know he doesn't have the flash, and with the Solar Flare coming out in the Magna Storm, is going to be enough because the Shockwave is already dead. It's a double for Finn. Excel decisive. Decision made, kill the enemy as soon as you see them and push down mid.
Another great engage from Markoon. Humanoid's just getting caught so many times by Markoon, by Mikyx in these mid lane fights. Knock up hits him, ult follows from Mikyx.
Mikyx tanking here as well to make sure that the minion wave survives for long enough for them to take the tower.
Yeah.
And now the inhibitor, the target for Excel, Caedrel.
Yeah, that's going to be gone. They can take away their red buff as well. Topside jungle, they have a bot wave stacking up that maybe they can play for. This Baron's going to last for another 1 minute and 40 seconds, so Excel have so many options on the map right now. Fnatic's engage is just really off sync. Humanoid's dying and then Hylissang's going in. You really want to make sure you're in harmony there. When the Rell goes in, the shockwave follows up. But that's not been the case, and that's why Fnatic are faltering in these fights.
And that Shockwave is a lot of your damage as well. If that Magna Storm comes in, and yes, Wunder could be in the fight, but he was top lane there. Jhin doesn't have as much damage in a prolonged fight as something like an Aphelios.
Yeah, look what Finn's doing, not even touching the wave. He's playing patient, trying to buff it up, and maybe they want to play for it, but Wunder's going to clear it out. They still have a minute left on this Baron, so the only real objective left for them is this bot tower. Hylissang's trying to get some vision. Maybe they fancy themselves some kind of fight if Excel decide to siege it. Objective bounties for Fnatic because of this 6,000 gold lead for Excel.
Cannon wave on its way for Excel. Of course, they all are after the 25-minute mark. Level 16 now on Finn. Patrik with a purple gun and a white gun, pretty good for a team fight, standing just outside of the tower range. Humanoid not here, doesn't have the TP. Fnatic have given up this tier 2, but will they have to give up more?
Humanoid no TP. He's going to get the top tower, which is an objective bounty. Yes, a little bit of gold back to them, but XL undone here. 30 seconds still on this Baron buff. They have a big wave.
Mikyx has Splash, Mikyx has Solar Flare, Mikyx has the option to go in. This is already the inhibitor tower going down, and Humanoid continues to push. TP
still pushing.
Ticking, about to come up Koolein. Razork forced away from the bottom of the fight. Cannon wave pushes in, and XL push out. Razork continuing to try to hamper, to delay XL from getting their recalls off.
I wonder if Humanoid will get that top tier 2. He has a wave coming in now. XL could invest the teleports from Finn to defend it, but they're not going to do so. So, yes, they lost their bot inhibitor in 2 towers, but they got 2 towers top 4 objective bounties as well. So a little bit of an even gold trade-off, but still 2 inhibs down means you lose so much map control. 1 minute 20 seconds on Dragon won't be XL's soul. I wonder if Fnatic do want to fight it because their carries flashes will be up for it. It's just a case of whether they can walk towards it with these waves just constantly battering towards their base.
Wave clip from Fnatic, not the strongest for Jhin, but Orianna and Gwen can get through them pretty quickly, so expect to see Humanoid and Wunder doing the majority of the work, clearing out that mid and that bottom wave. Of course, Wunder with the TP could go up towards the top lane as well, just to try and add some pressure somewhere else on the map, Caedrel.
Yeah, and a lot of spikes coming in for XL soon. Look at Patrick's items. When he gets that Infinity Edge, he's going to be dealing out so much damage. And Wunder again on 2 items, Razork on 2 items, Void Staff for complete for Humanoid. So yes, Fnatic's getting strong, but I feel like XL is just a little bit too strong at this point. They're going to have to get a really good engage with a massive shockwave follow-up, and Wunder needs to be in the midst of that fight when it kicks off. So 30 seconds till Dragon. It looks like Fnatic want to walk past their base all the way towards River, push this mid-wave in and start to walk into this Dragon Pit area. Nukeduck's pushing top. XL have an option here where it's like, well, you guys can have Dragon. I'm going to go for your top inhibitor.
Been steeping away. Wunder's not going to be able to stop this. You can do some damage, but you don't have any CC. Yeah, he's TPing to the top lane, and immediately backs coming out from Fnatic. They realize we cannot lose 3 inhibs here. Now, Nukeduck come back, has a TP to join a fight that might start around the Dragon, but XL are actually all going up towards top side.
I think Humanoid might have to ult this top wave because Razork's bot to get this Drake. Wunder stayed as well. They need to clear this wave. They need to use all of their spells to clear this wave, otherwise they're going to lose 3 inhibs. They need to use absolutely everything to stop XL here.
They're going to do it. Curtain Call comes out. Shockwave as well. 1 minion survives, and the tower does not. Dragon will be taken by Fnatic just now.
3
and
inhibs.
that's 8 seconds on the back. Solar Flare, there's a Zenith Blade. No follow-up. Humanoid already down to half HP. This is the 3rd inhibitor down from Fnatic. Nukeduck has package. He's barreling down mid. XL, with 3 inhibitors taken, are looking for this win.
No shockwave either. Yes, all of Fnatic's here, but they're lacking so many crucial abilities. Waves are coming in. Tower's gonna fall. Fnatic have to pull the trigger eventually.
3 years in the making. XL have fought and fought and fought, but they've never beaten Fnatic. And Fnatic are trying to keep that streak going today. But with the package coming through, with Fnatic melting in the eyes of their own fountain, let XL say today, no one beats them 13 times in a row.
Massive, massive win for XL. Coming into this as the underdogs. Never have beaten Fnatic before. Take them down in just shy of a 29-minute game. Clean, decisive 3v3 from the jungle AD support. Yeah, flawless.
Really well played by them. Great stuff by XL to take the win, and we had some questions about the draft. We wondered if Finn would be able to have enough impact on this Graves, but he constantly kept that lane pressured and was with his team when he needed to be.
Yeah, top lane was quite quiet. You know, Finn was winning in isolation with that Graves pick, but I feel like the Aphelios just was let loose in these fights. Mikyx's engages, to me, were just so crisp around those dragons, and that's what got them the Baron. All those towers got them the lead and got them the win.
It's the day of supports, it seems. Mikyx and Hylissang putting on a performance in this game. Now, Mikyx is one of your key player of the game votes at LEC on Twitter alongside Nukeduck and Patrik. I will say some of the things Mikyx did to shut down Hylissang at the start of fights really won XL the game, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a support main.
That support matchup really delivered, I think.
Yeah,
you can
really
see both wanted to do the same thing, both wanted to engage. Mikyx came out on top.
Great stuff all around by XL. They pick up another win, pushing them further up into those playoff positions. Now, coming up next, Mikyx is joining the Analyst for a preview on the match of the week between G2 and Rogue. But first, let's have a look at some of Jankos' best and funniest career moments ahead of his 500th game in the LEC.
First blood is given across the Jankos.
Mikyx flash forward, first blood for the king.
Vander a little bit too low in this one. It is just a 1 for 1. Absolutely. Yes, Drake. They beat EDG. These guys are red hot.
The G2 dynasty will be defined by taking down RNG.
We are having so much fun, and I'm stuck here playing Sejuani for a living. Like, please don't buff Sejuani. Just don't do it.
Just change the gold funneling strat so I don't need to play Braum again.
How do you play a good Karthus?
Well, you just farm, and then it doesn't really matter if you hit the Q or not, as long as you can press the R button at the right time.
Is that... I'm good at the game, dude.
The case, do not pull a G2. Showstopper into the minions. That's a great call from Jankos. He gets them. He gets the win. Jankos saves the game for G2.
Judging from Twitter, you guys are the bestest friends, so we thought it only naturally to invite you guys here.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, I wouldn't really say best friends.
I wouldn't say best friend either, but I mean, I think he's the most overrated player in Euro right now.
All right.
Shot barrage, Jankos gonna jump into the pit, he goes on top, he steals this! Jankos!
Oh, let's check it out. Wait, does he walk into it? Oh my god! No way!
G2 Esports 3-0 will win MSI 2019. This is it! The greatest team in the history of League of Legends, taken down by the greatest team Europe has ever produced!
Congratulations on being the 2019 Summer Split LEC MVP!
Jankos.